I saw someone have like a think piece about how Drake is changing the album cover game.
Really?
With this and CLB because they're more of a joke.
Oh,
I was like, fair. Here's my
fair.
theory.
It's not that serious.
No,
Drake is not.
It's not. And
Welcome everybody to Soundbites, a part of the Album Mode podcast where we're talking about the music, the culture, and the internet, and all those things intertwined to become the music culture / life that we live today. This is Demar Grant, aka King Grant.
Let's get it.
aka King Grant. And I'm here with my esteemed co-host, co-creator, Adriel Smiley, aka AdrielSmiley.com, aka The Godfather, aka Mr. Smiley. And we're also here with our producer, Patient Zero, yep. Chris. Adriel, we're back. It's Soundbites. How you feeling? This is the new era. The Drake era is begun again.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. One more thing, all our people on YouTube, like this video, share, comment, subscribe, please. We're on the way to 5,000. Help us get there. This is a new Drake era. It's pretty crazy. He dropped that picture his son drew.
Yeah, For All the Dogs is what we're talking about. Basically, For All the Dogs, this album that Drake has been teasing for the past 3-ish months.
Yeah.
He's been seen wearing a dog head, like as a costume.
Yep, the dog hoodies.
The book, lots of dog related things. But I want to say yesterday from the recording of today's podcast, his son Adonis drew the album art, allegedly drew the album art for Drake's album For All the Dogs, and it's out now. And the rumor that's being floating around, I even saw Amazon Music tweet this date specifically, August 25th, which should be Friday.
Yep, that's what I've heard too.
Is also floating, so we might be looking at a new Drake album coming around the corner.
Drake versus Burna Boy is going to be a crazy matchup.
Yeah,
the summer doesn't know what to do with that one. I'm going to highlight some things that they have in the Wikipedia that are confirmed about this album before the date, because I think it's very interesting.
Okay.
1, 2 confirmed guest appearances from Nicki Minaj and Bad Bunny. Interested to see about that. Confirmed production from Lil Yachty. And Search and Rescue is apparently the lead single. I never knew that was a single for All the Dogs. But
yeah. You thought it was just a Lucy? I thought it was just a Lucy.
Yeah, apparently it's the lead single. But what we're getting with this rollout is what we've never gotten from Drake before. And I think this is like, I said it on the past few Drake reviews that like, I just want a Drake album that ain't got nothing to do with Kanye.
Okay. Keep
Kanye out of it. Keep the beef out of it. Keep Pusha T out of it. Now, we got Her Loss, which was like that. Her Loss was one of his best albums in years.
Yep.
We like that one a lot. This is another album, seems along that lines. Of course, Meltdown, he took some shots at Push and Pharrell Caught a Stray. But it seems like this is like a beef-free project. But we're getting a Drake project with, basically no singles, which we've never gotten before, other than, if you're reading This Is Too Late.
Yep.
And More Life.
Yep.
Now, those are 2 of my favorite Drake projects.
Really?
And seeing kind of the tone of those sonically, I'm, kind of read the cards here and see what that means for All the Dogs. But Drake has never given us a surprise project in a sense with so much warning.
Okay.
That's a new thing for Drake, where there's no singles, there's no kind of lead up, musically to the project. But he's been telling us forever this project is coming.
Right.
In the past, when he was, talking about views for, it felt like 2 years, Can I tell you how many Lucy's I've heard from Views before Views came out? This is not that. He's talking about the dogs. He keeps bringing it up, but we ain't hearing nothing. So I'm excited to see how that goes, because that's not something that Drake has really done before. But Drake, again, is such a big artist. He has a cachet where he can tell you a product's coming and give you no singles.
Yeah.
When it comes, you'll listen.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Exactly. I think that it's a cool rollout. I mean, I think that it's been interesting. We've all been aware. Everybody's aware that it's coming out, but nobody really knew when it was coming out. How do you feel about the album cover? The alleged album cover, because we've seen I think it was CLB that had that whole like flower arrangement that I was like, I thought that was going to be a sick cover.
And then it was not that.
And then it was not that. And it was quite garbage. So that's why I'm saying this alleged cover created by Adonis.
I think this is going to be the album cover. I saw someone have like a think piece about how Drake is changing the album cover game.
Really?
With this and CLB because they're more of a joke.
Oh.
I was like, fair. Here's my
fair.
theory.
It's not that serious.
No,
Drake is not.
It's not. And again, I would argue that Yeezus is probably the closest to like an album cover actually being a straight joke,
right?
Than any of these.
Because that was just black, right?
Yeah. Just the label.
Wait, no,
just the label.
Yeah, it was just the label.
And one, we can't hate this album cover because his son drew it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know it's bulletproof.
We can't hate it. So when it comes to that part of the review on our podcast, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
we can't hate it, but. One thing, it's funny because when I was Adonis's age, this is how I drew animals. So, it gives that vibe. And then secondly, which I can't say this is intentional because this is, drawn by a toddler, but it looks more like a wolf than a dog. And I think like
wolves,
there is something to that of like for the dogs, but we're wolves, know? So I think that, maybe a part of this whole thing because for the dogs, there's many different type of dogs. You know what I'm saying? When you say for the dogs, I don't think he means chihuahuas. So at least Adonis drew something that is still a little bit sinister.
Yeah, yes, it does look sinister, which is cool. I think that I'm like, the artwork is primitive, but he's a kid. Like he's a 5-year-old. I think he's like 5?
Yeah.
4 or 5-year-old. So anything that you draw at 5 years old, unless you're like Pablo Picasso,
is gonna be primitive.
But it looks good. Like it looks good. It does. In an artistic sense, it has value.
Yeah,
it has value. I like that. It's all black. It's the white on black with the eyes and stuff. Like it looks cool. I think it does.
It also too.
I would put this on my fridge.
I'm screaming. The other thing I think about this cover, which CLB fits into this as well, is like these are covers where the artist's face is not on the cover, but you'll remember this cover like going forward. Like 5 years from now, you're visiting a friend you haven't seen in forever, and you see this on vinyl. You know exactly what album that is right away.
Yeah.
So
same with if you're reading this, it's too late. I think there's like a low key Drake has like a primitiveness to some of his albums.
If he's not on the cover, it's gonna be primitive.
Yeah,
and I think like as much as we're hating on that, to me that is one of the qualities of like new albums that we are starting to see more and more of. Like the covers, like that cover off rip. You know what I'm saying? Like people are probably at some point gonna like call this, the album that Adonis drew. Like, oh, remember the album that his son did the cover?
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be very, very memorable, especially because one, it does not look like a dog. Like if we had not known this was like for the dogs,
right?
I don't think we would see this and be like, oh, this is definitely a dog. This is a miscellaneous mammal with red eyes.
Yeah, but that's how I'm just trying to think back to being a child, being a kid. I'm like, this is how I would draw a dog probably.
Yeah, maybe I'll send it to you for a video, but I have a picture I drew that I won some award. It's in a hospital, and all the animals look like this. So, this is definitely a toddler drawing. Before we move on,
I was gonna ask you, what is your excitement level?
How about the exact same thing?
Okay, what's your excitement level for the album? Allegedly coming out this Friday.
I'm excited for it because I think this is an era of Drake's career where he's enjoying himself more.
Yeah.
And I think Drake makes the best music when he's not trying to prove something. So I'm excited for that. And two, I felt like Her Loss to me was not the end of an era, but like the end of a section of Drake's career. Like Drake has been a legacy artist. It feels like, forever at this point. But I think Her Loss cemented it as in like, okay, like he is really, really not done. Because I think CLB, we had some issues.
Yeah.
We were like,
it was teetering. And then when Honestly Nevermind, which I like, I want everybody to remember, I liked Honestly Nevermind. Okay,
no, we gave it a good score on this pod.
Everybody else was hating. Everybody else was hating. Okay, you guys were hating out there, and I was like, no, it's actually pretty cool. And now look what happened. Everybody's a year since, and everybody's like, oh, it was pretty cool. This was overhated. Blah blah blah. I was on that.
Honestly, Nevermind's better than CLB.
So there was CLB where I was like, ooh, we are in post prime Drake's season. And then Honestly Nevermind, I was like, okay, there's still some artistic juice left. And then Her Loss came out, and we're like, okay, this is probably the best Drake album that's come out since like
Nothing
Views.
was the same. Views, yeah.
Like, right? So, and that's like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So, so now we're like optimistic about Drake music. I'm optimistic about Drake music.
Yeah.
I feel optimistic about this. Tentative, like cautiously optimistic, guys. I'm telling you, I'm like,
cautious.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic. I'm like, good work has been happening recently. I feel like when it comes to his tour, he's living life right now. Like he seems happy right now. Good things are happening. No beef to fight to talk about or anything like
just
that.
Bobby.
We're just maybe she's probably she's getting bars.
Bobby's getting straight.
Yeah, she
Bobby's
is.
getting straight.
1,000%, because he does that to anybody. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm
actually optimistic. I think this is going to be a good project.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with Drake. I feel like Drake is now entering the space, and he'll never fully be there. But this is probably the most objective he'll have the listen to his project.
Right.
I think this is probably the closest he'll get to having an objective listen, probably to the end of his career, because he finally got that monkey off his back of like, it's not about someone else. It's not an experimental project. And 21 Savage is like the people's darling. You know, no one hates 21 Savage.
Right.
So having an album with 21 Savage that everyone really likes, everyone kind of wants to like this project.
Right.
Which with Drake, that's not always the case. You know,
that's true. That is so true.
You know, and it's like Drake's albums are usually good, so you don't always need to like stretch to like it. This is not Quavo we're talking about here, but people do want to like this project. So it's like, when's the last time? Probably been Spank Me Later. Drake was in that spot, and maybe Views. Views. Everyone wanted to like Views, but this is like the first time in a long time Drake has been in the spot. He wants everyone to like him. So, or everyone wants to like his project. So I'm excited for that. I sent you this list.
Yeah.
Spotify, most
a little bit
streamed.
harrowing. It was a harrowing list, to be honest.
Rap album 2023.
Yeah.
And
wait, say it one more time.
Spotify most streamed rap albums of 2023.
Yeah, this is top 5.
Top 5. Sugar with D-Day at 434 million streams. Like Spice with the Like EP, 531 million streams. Metro Boomin, Across the Spider-Verse, 753 million streams. Lil Uzi The Pink Tape at number 2 with 827. And then Travis Scott Utopia at 837.
Which just came out, by the way.
Which is pretty wild. The one that stood out to me from this list was Metro Boomin.
Okay.
Obviously, Ice Spice there is a little bit.
But you're hating. You don't like Ice Spice.
No, I love.
You don't like Ice Spice.
I love Ice Spice.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I just don't like you saying that like you were rolling with her.
Because I was though.
All you said was she was not a gimmick. You didn't say like she's headed for the stars and she's about to be blowing up. You said she's not a gimmick.
The question, she's not a gimmick. She's legit.
But I don't know if she's proved that she's not a gimmick.
See, there it is right there. That's literally it right there. I'm saying she's not a gimmick. She's legit. And we've seen her chart.
So what is Deli?
That's a legit song. What are we talking about?
But it's the same as all the other songs, is what I'm saying.
Drake has 50 of the same song. Come on now.
You can't compare what Ice Spice is doing to what Drake does.
But I'm just saying, they're dropping the same song. It's like, so what? Like, artists drop the same song.
Her charting doesn't make her not a gimmick. I don't think she is a gimmick. I think she's more than that.
Right.
Because I do think what she does has a place here.
Right.
But her charting doesn't make her not a gimmick.
She's been around. It's over a year now, Ice Spice.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I'm like, you can't even, there's no way she's ever a gimmick. She's been around for over a year.
Is that what it takes to not be a gimmick?
Over a year and collabed with Taylor Swift, right? She's in the Barbie movie. She's in the Barbie movie.
She's here to stay. She's here to stay.
Nicki Minaj, she's collabed with, and she collabed with Pink Panther. So she's like on all of the ladders, the verticals. She has like the pop vertical, the rap vertical, and then she also has the alternative vertical.
She's the best influencer in hip hop,
so
for sure.
No. She's legit. See what I'm saying? You don't like Ice Spice.
I love Ice Spice. I love Ice Spice.
You know what? You think you love her? I respect Ice Spice.
Oh my God.
You don't respect Ice Spice whatsoever. Okay?
I respect Ice Spice.
No, you
for
don't.
what she does. For what she does, I respect Ice Spice.
You don't respect Ice Spice. So I think that you don't respect her.
Why do you think that?
Why would I think that? I'm you haven't heard yourself speaking over the past like 3 weeks. You do not respect Ice Spice.
It sounds worse than it does in my head.
Oh man, I think that her being on this list is a little bit crazy just because of how new she is, and also I'm just thinking of like where there like a lot of like hip hop has like progressed to the point that where Ice Spice is like one of the leading listens in the genre. So that one is that's just like a little bit crazy because you can be a breakout artist, but to be like the number 3 or number 4, number 5 most listened to rap album of the entire year is a little bit insane.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
It's a little bit insane. The Metro Boomin, I mean, he has the power of the movie for Spider-Man behind him, which is a masterpiece type of movie. I think that Travis Scott's Utopia being number 1, this shit just came out.
Yeah.
How does it have so many streams?
I think I said it's the biggest rap album in 3 years.
Right. So there's that. Even though it doesn't really have a number, it didn't have a number 1 hit song.
No, it has some hits though. I think Fiend and I Know were both top 10.
Yeah, but they never went to number 1. That's a little bit curious, you know?
Yeah, but if you have a few top 10s, you're
streaming a lot.
Yeah, you might not outstream Morgan Wallen, but you'll be doing okay.
Yeah. So I think that this list is a little bit, I would say a little scary because I would say none of these albums are like 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s best stuff that I heard this year.
Yes, I agree with that.
Right?
I agree with that. I think it's a certain type of album, I think, that is, this to me speaks to like the power of the internet. Because I think that this is where not all these projects, maybe not Metro and probably not Travis, and Suga, I think, is so new as a solo artist that it's like kind of borderline. But like if you take the top 5 best albums of the year, I don't know if any of these artists on the top 5 most streamed end up on the best albums of the year.
Right. Like, exactly. None of them, actually.
You know, so
I would say none of them.
I think Travis Scott probably has the best case. But I don't think any of these artists are end up in that top 5. So it's like, that's why it's a sad list, because there was a time when it's like, yes, for sure, Black Star may not be the most streamed, but you could still give credit to Blueprint. You know, you could still give credit to Get Rich or Die Trying. So to see the top albums not be any of the ones that are
very good,
yeah, it's kind of depressing. It's kind of depressing.
Yeah, and this is kind of, you know, where everybody is. This year is the year where everybody is like, hip hop is in decline, and I think that this top 5, along with there hasn't been a number 1 rap song, like the hit number 1s in like a full year, no, like a calendar year.
You know, I'm saying still.
Yeah. So there's that. And I would say that the rap albums coming out recently have not been up to snuff in the previous years.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're looking at we might be legitimately looking at a drop off. We might be. I would say I'm not fully sure on that, but the warning signs are there.
I think we should rewind to your conversation you brought up last week about the labels don't know what they're doing. Yeah. I think, especially with Ice Spice and Sugar, I think will be fine. I don't think Sugar has anything to worry about. I think, you know, the fans will find him. Yeah. But I think someone like Ice Spice, 4th most streamed rap album of 2023, what kind of tour can Ice Spice do? If Ice Spice were to go on tour right now, what does that look like? And I think that is the difference where we got to figure out the medium between that, because, you know, there's some artists who, like Russ, whose album came out this past week, which
is really good, actually.
You know, can tour past a lot of these people, but will not end up on a list like this. Yeah, you know, and I think like that is where these metrics are real to some degree. We know streaming farms are a real thing, so I don't want to put too much into this. But these artists who are so popular on a streaming side aren't always as popular in person. We've seen the reports of Lil Baby, Moneybagg Yo not being able to sell tickets. You know, I think this is the year where people become more hip to that, of like, okay, just because I know everyone streams Lil Baby doesn't mean everyone wants to see him in person. Right. Or just because I know everyone streams Ice Spice doesn't mean she's going to sell her concert the way someone else might. So I think that, yes, give the credit to these artists in this top 5, but the next top 5 that everyone's going to pay attention to is the tour top 5, the merch top 5. Right. That kind of thing of like, that's who has the most true fans.
True, I agree.
Because I think that someone like Ice Spice being this list, when you on Spotify, you can see who are your core fans, listen to your songs every day. I would guess that Ice Spice doesn't have, 40 million core fans.
Yeah.
I would guess it's, a pretty low number. So this is really sad because that space feels like it's so big between the popularity and the actual credible music.
Yeah, that chasm is widening. I would say it's widening. And it's a little bit like I said at the beginning. There's a harrowing.
Yeah.
Because somebody like Russ that you mentioned dropped his album.
So you're back on Russ now, or you're finally on Russ now?
I am finally on Russ now. Before I thought his music was kind of
give me my flowers. When we did Chomp, and I was telling y'all, Chomp one of the best albums of the year.
You did say that.
Anyways, continue. It's not like I said it first.
You can say that. I think that his latest album was really good, but he's not gonna stream like this, obviously. Maybe if it was like 2018 or something like that, and he dropped that album, the streams would have gone nuts.
Different time, yeah.
And that's when he was doing his whole media tour and all that shit. But yeah, there is definitely a chasm between the diehards and like how much you stream, right? Like I'm trying to think of, like we talked about Brent Faiyaz is one of those people. Playboy Cardi is one of those people where as they're huge, like their fan base might not be huge, but that fan base is
They show up. They show up, yeah.
Opium, everything. People wearing all black, the vamp shit, all that shit.
Yeah.
Right? But we wouldn't say Playboy Cardi is like the biggest artist out, but you would be like, Playboy Cardi shows up, it's like, this is Playboy Cardi time.
Yeah, and I think Playboy's a good person to bring up because I think internet presence is a big part of it as well. Like Playboy Cardi is not someone we always see on the internet. He's not always out like, and I think that's part of it is like, when Ice Spice was shooting the video for Deli, that showed up on all their timelines of like as if it was breaking news.
Yeah,
and it's like, how did Ice Spice get to that level where it's like all these random platforms are posting, Ice Spice shooting the video? And I think it's because she's someone who people like are clicking to and does numbers online. Now that doesn't mean that we're all fans of her, you know what I'm saying? But because we all saw her video, that just boosts her numbers. So it's like someone like Playboy Cardi, this is their time to really show what it really is.
Yeah. So that's what we make of this list. It's a little bit just like another indicator of that chasm between the hardcore and casual fan, I would say. I would say all of these people have a ton of casual fans.
Yeah.
Uzi has a lot of casual fans, but Uzi has some diehards too.
Yeah, Uzi has diehards.
But people like Ice Spice, I would say it's casual right now.
Yes.
Like, does Ice Spice have a fandom name?
I don't think so.
So
Munches?
Yeah, I think so, actually. Maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. But, there's that. And then like Travis Scott, diehard, some of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of it are just like, here for the hype, which is, it's okay. But
I have a curveball for you.
Okay.
The summer is ending.
Yep.
Recording this on the 22nd.
Yeah, yep.
Caravana was now 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
How do you feel about a song of the summer now? What do you think was the song of the summer? How do you feel like, are we still waiting for one? Like, where are you with that? I have my answers.
Yeah.
But I want to hear where you're at in terms of like songs of the summer and that kind of thing.
So, I think I have two.
Okay.
Three, sort of, but two mostly. That song with Central C and Dave, Sprinter, is still,
Sprinter is one of mine too.
It spins everywhere.
10 weeks at number one in the UK.
Yeah, it spins everywhere. I swear I hear it every single place that I go. I told this story on like a previous pod where I was at a wedding and they played Sprinter and that for the people get on the dance floor, right? So there's that and Super Shy by New Jeans.
Yep.
Shout out to my bunnies. This is the beach bag. I got the beach bag, people. Okay.
That's how you know he's official.
You can't say that I'm not a bunny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, that's a crazy sentence.
You can't say I'm not a bunny. Super Shy, crazy. The dance craze, the vocals, super breezy. It's
Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls collab. It's very free, very breezy. Their Lollapalooza performance was crazy. Like the amount of people that showed up to it, and you could tell like New Jeans has hardcores because you see people at Lollapalooza, which is a festival, so it's casual fest, right? They all have the light, like the light stick, right? So they spent money and you spent money for a specific artist.
That's how you know.
Then went to the festival, which is tons of money, just to go see their first ever North American performance, right? And you're talking about thousands and thousands of people. So they have like diehards. Obviously.
Yes.
Diehard, right? So I would say Super Shy because it has a lot of things going for it. The only thing is that they're Korean, right? So it's like that there's still going to be like a element of like crossing over that they need to do. But that shit is, did you say that you went somewhere and you heard it playing as well, right? Did you say it?
Yeah, I don't remember where I was, but yeah, I did hear it somewhere.
Yeah, it was like Manifesto.
Yeah.
Right? So you can even go to Manifesto and hear Super Shy.
No, it goes up. It goes up.
So I think it's Super Shy and Sprinter. Those are my two. Taliban's a little bit.
Yeah, Sprinter was one of mine. The other one I have is Fuck You Mean.
I guess.
Fuck You Mean is definitely still banging for a lot of people. It still gets a reaction. But to me, it's still Taliban's. And I think seeing the reaction that Taliban's has gotten out certain places shows us the divide of like really a lot of white people who are not hip to dancehall and that culture because Taliban's is like, if Taliban's gets the reaction even more than a song like Sprinter, even though Sprinter gets a huge reaction. And Taliban's is still that one song where, if someone's too cool to be on the dance floor, too cool to get off the wall, when Taliban's comes on, they're going to step up a little bit.
Right.
So Taliban's is it. And then Drift, another dancehall song.
Oh, okay.
Has a dance to it. And there's a video that just came out of a nurse showing her white coworkers the dance to Drift. And the caption was, now this dance is over. Not quite there yet. But just to see like that resurgence of dancehall, like having so many of these big songs being so popular, especially because Afrobeats is back. We haven't named the Afrobeat song as like the song of the summer.
Yeah, I've been listening to, even though it came out last year, Jolene.
Really?
Jolene, that is my track right now. I don't know. There was like a TikTok about it, a guy reacting to it, and I was like, yo, this song is hot. And then I listened to it myself, like, this song is banging.
Came back to it.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and I bring that up because Burna Boy and Drake are both rumored to drop next week. Those guys are Song of the Summer candidates every time they put out music. But, the Songs of the Summer is a UK rap song, which is not Drake's bag as much. And no Afrobeat. Which Afrobeat has been kind of running things for quite some time. So it's a very unique time we are at for Song of the Summer. You named New Jeans, which is like, not naturally what we have as a Song of the Summer. Yeah. We talked about Central C and Dave. When last time we had a UK Song of the Summer.
Yeah, well, there was Doja last year.
Yeah, when last time we had a UK Song of the Summer. and then Taliban's. Before we finish,
there was
Doja was a big song.
It was you.
The person who asked for Doja at the function is the person nobody likes.
Oh, okay.
The certain type of person who has to Doja at the function.
There was Doja and Last. That was last year.
Last.
Yeah.
Last was it.
Yeah, Last was really it. But Doja was but respected.
Doja's a big song, but it's like when you see someone go to the DJ booth and ask for Doja, you're just like, word, like, so it's like someone asking for commas.
Oh my God.
You're kind of just
never let it go. You'll never let it go.
Listen, nobody's perfect.
Commas a banger.
We all have our flaws.
Diamonds Dancing is probably my favorite Drake song, but it's also my favorite Future song, but it also has Drake on it. So
yeah. Diamonds Dancing is a banger.
I love Diamonds Dancing.
Yeah.
I thought Diamonds Dancing was gonna be like a hit song, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. I just thought it banged so crazy.
When that album came out, I was on a solo trip, so I was just driving, listening to that on repeat.
Yeah.
When I came back to Toronto, I saw a different tune.
Yeah.
And I said, no, not on repeat. Like,
yeah, everybody's playing Jumpman, which I didn't like when it first came out.
Jumpman and Big Rings.
I liked Big Rings, but not Jumpman. Yeah. I actually did not like Jumpman.
I think Jumpman and Big Rings are the two worst songs on the project.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Soundbites for today. Thank you, everybody out there on the interwebs. Thank you for listening to Album Pod. Make sure you follow us on the interwebs at Album Pod on Instagram, at Album Pod on Twitter, at Album Mode on YouTube, and I believe it's at Album Mode Pod on TikTok.
Yep.
Okay. We're on all the Instagram. We're on all of the social media. You can find us there. Find clips. You can find us talking to people. All that good stuff. Okay. And Adriel.
Yes.
Oh, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the pod. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the pod. Helps us with the algo. Helps us be able to tell what you guys like and want to hear more about, want to see more about, all that good stuff. It's a great way to indicate it's your ability to direct the pod.
Yes.
Believe it or not. If you like, comment, and subscribe, we can tell what you're subscribing to, what you're liking, all that good stuff. We'll be like, oh, they like more of this. I'm going to do more of that. Do more of this. Do more of that. So that's your personal input on the podcast. So make sure you go and do that. And Adriel, make sure you know yourself and know your worth.
Later days.